welcome back to East Coast DNA. Today we're here in a new recording location. Hopefully we'll be revisiting this location over the next year a little bit frequently, I hope. The Marigold Theatre here in Truro, Nova Scotia. And today's guest is not a Truro resident. They came over to visit us. So thank you very much for taking the journey over to join us here today. So Evan Cooper, and I do see that you already have a song out in Martin Hickey's countdown there, the East Coast Top 30. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So you're from New Brunswick, Fredericton, New Brunswick? That's correct?
Yes, I am.
So maybe tell us a little bit about yourselves. I do see that you're one of my younger guests, but anyone that's been watching it over the last while knows that I just had my youngest guest on, which was 9 months old, so you don't win any awards for being 14. I do have a daughter your age, so I could probably relate or at least understand a little bit of your current lifestyle these days, but I'm curious, where I'm from, Pictou County, just half hour from here. I don't get to Fredericton too often, and we've had quite a bit of New Brunswick coverage on the show, but it's lacked a little bit. So I also want to thank you and your family for reaching out, because I've been looking to get a little bit more New Brunswick content on the show. So tell me a little bit about growing up in the Fredericton area and a little bit about yourself.
Well, Fredericton is amazing. I love Fredericton. I go to Fredericton High School. I think it's a great school. The music scene in Fredericton is so welcoming. It's a great community to grow up in, especially for a young person like me who's trying to get into music. Mm-hmm. Everyone's so supportive, and it's a great place to grow up in the music industry for sure.
And so what got you interested in your own musical journey? Like 14 is pretty young, and especially you've already advanced to the point that you have a song that's charting and people are talking about you. So you've created a buzz. When did that start for you?
Well, taking it back to the whole story, if we're going to tell the whole story, when
Absolutely.
I was 9 years old during COVID-19, I needed to find something to do. So I pulled my mom's piano or her keyboard out from when she was a kid out of her closet, and I just started learning how to play like Free Release and like songs like that. And then eventually I was like, like I could write my own song like this. Like, why not? Right? So I started writing songs. The first song I ever wrote was called Christmas Love, because it was actually around this time, a Christmas song. And then I was like, well, that was really fun. So there wasn't really something in my head that clicked saying, I want to keep writing songs. It was more of the type of thing where it was just, I naturally just did it. And that's what made me passionate about music, and just loving it without needing to like make myself do it was what got me into loving music.
And as far as instrumentation, is there like a family member or friend that was getting you into playing as well? Or is that just a personal decision that you found a genre you liked and you decided to go down that road?
Well, my mom showed me my first 4 chords on piano, like C, G, A minor, and F, just because I feel like they're like the main chords, you could say.
Sure, yep.
So that's kind of what got me started off, and then I just kind of used different patterns, different formations of that, and then eventually, when I needed to learn how to play more of a variety of songs and stuff, and write songs that didn't all sound the same, I needed to like search up how to play more chords, and now I definitely don't know all the chords, but it's easy for me to kind of figure it out now, because I like kind of like know the patterns now because I've been doing it since I was 9. So my mom definitely like helped me with those first 4 chords. And then I just started playing guitar like almost a year ago at New Year's. And my dad showed me the first 4 chords on guitar, like cool. G, D, E minor, and C. So then just slap the capo on there and just change the key up. And now I'm learning bar chords and picking and all stuff, arpeggio. So I'm just like trying to get better.
Amazing. And so now I've mentioned that you already have recordings out there, but what's your performance experience been like?
Well, I love performing. It's one of my favorite things to do when it comes to music, because I just love that connection that you feel with the crowd when they're kind of like digging your music and like, yeah, this is good. So performing's really fun. Harvest, I did Harvest. That's probably the biggest spot I've performed so far. It was really fun, great experience. I can't wait to hopefully have a chance to go back and perform again.
And another Fredericton resident, Kylie Fox, who's a previous guest a couple times on this show, was performing there this year as well, I believe.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with each other?
Yeah. So we reached out to Kylie. Well, my mom, Kylie, substitute teaches sometimes, and she used to teach at school that my mom used to teach at because my mom's a teacher. So my mom knew who Kylie Fox was through that.
Cool.
And then she also saw, her song, we were listening to Brandy Baby a lot and stuff, and it was charting. So my mom was like, well, we should reach out to Kylie, see if she'd meet us for coffee and just give us advice or how she got here. Yeah. And so we reached out, and Kylie said, yeah, for sure. So we met at a coffee shop in somewhere around Fredericton, and she gave us really good advice. So I really thank Kylie Fox for that. Thank you, Kylie.
And a quick shout out to somebody that I've run into over the last little while in your area too, Jesse Bush. He does a lot of concert photography. So nice. Quick shout out to Jesse, and hopefully he hears this and shows up at one of your shows. So.
Hopefully, because I'm not I don't know him yet.
Yeah, well, that you will at some point. He's definitely got his eye on the scene in that area. So you'll stumble across him when he goes to one of your shows and tags you on some photos after it, I'm sure.
All right, hopefully.
So outside of the fact that you're here today in Nova Scotia, because I know that you're not here for a performance reason, how far have you been able to travel outside of Fredericton to perform, or have you been pretty much concentrated in your area?
I've been doing Fredericton definitely the most because I live in Fredericton, but I have came to Truro to do other performances. Yep. Before. I think Truro is the farthest I've gone for performance. I may be wrong, but right now I'm pretty sure Truro's the farthest I've gone. I haven't done too much in Truro, but I'm hoping to get to expand and even do PEI in Quebec, because we have family in Quebec, so Quebec's a good spot for us to go to. Yeah. But I feel Quebec's harder, but to get out there. But we're trying.
If you remind me after this interview, I'll point out a couple previous episodes that I have where I've talked to people about that topic. Both people trying to break into that region as far as their music, and people from that region and their experience as either bilingual people or as Anglophones in a French community. So I do have a few episodes where we've had those conversations, and definitely could point a couple of those out to you to get a couple tips from some of those people, maybe help ease your way into that. I would like to follow that progress too, because it's a specific topic I find very curious, where we're a bilingual country and we have a very strong French-speaking province that's right in the middle of all the English, and it does seem to be a tour disruptor for a lot of people. So I always find it interesting to see where people end up landing when they do start performing live and breaking out of their own home communities. So going forward, like you've mentioned, you're 14, you're in high school. You're having a little bit of early success with your music already, but as a high school student, I do know that comes with a lot of other things. So there's definitely extracurricular time, but what are your goals as far as music? I don't know if you have other sports or something that are chewing up your time, but what is your music goal?
Well, for music, I definitely want to be a full-time musician. I want to do it professionally, as my career. That I definitely want to get to that stage, and I feel like I can do it since I'm starting it really young. I have more time than a lot of people, and I'm really lucky that I have supportive parents who help me get there.
Yes, shout out to the parents for
sure. Shout out to mom and dad for driving me everywhere because I can't drive. But so that's my end goal. Not really my end goal, really. I want to be able to tour North America, go over to Europe eventually. I'm working on an album. I want to get my album out. That's really exciting for me. I have a lot of different goals. I want to go eventually win a Juno. That'll be exciting.
There you go. That's a good one.
That'll be exciting.
Hopefully I'm there at that year when you do get to do that, and I'll take a couple snapshots of you while you're up on stage.
Hopefully even get to that point.
Be a nice full circle moment. So let's get into a little bit about your songs then. Like you said, you've been writing since you were 9, so you've got about 5 years of writing experience. And where you do have a song that's charting right at the moment, I'm curious, what kind of a catalog do you have? Like, how many songs do you have written to date that you would perform in front of somebody?
Well, right now I've written a lot of songs. I've written 5 albums worth of music, but right now I'm only performing my like first album because I don't want to like let too much go too soon. I kind of want to keep everything close to my chest and just release a little bit at a time. So that's what I'm performing right now is my like the songs that are going to be on my first album is what I'm recording and performing right now. So I'd say probably like 14 to 20 songs is what I'd perform.
Okay.
And then like 10 covers maybe here and there.
Yeah, so you have a good couple hour set if you need to flesh it out.
Yeah, I can do 2 hours probably is like what I did at Harvest for busking.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so when you go in to write a song, and I'm assuming that you're starting off just as a soloist singer-songwriter here, so I'm curious for lyrics. As 14-year-olds, you don't have a lot of life experience to pull on. I mean, there's definitely, I can actually remember being 14. It's not like your head's not full of things to talk about. But I'm curious, where do you find inspiration for the lyrical content that goes into a song?
Well, a lot of songs I write about my life experiences that I've had at 14. In that, I like to say in my head, I don't think I've actually said this out loud yet, but I like to think that being 14 makes not so bad situations more dramatic in my head.
Sure.
So it actually makes like say like something not terrible happens to me, I can write a song as if it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It actually helps me quite a bit being 14, I think. But I've written songs that aren't like, I write songs that I feel I can relate to other people. I feel like that's really important, to write songs that other people can relate to, as much as I write songs that I love myself. But that's what I try to go off of when I write.
And now, at the risk of using slang, modern terminology that is like not for my age range, it's kind of funny that you say that, because that perspective of being 14 and how you would react to something, the same way that you find boomers to be cringe when they're out there trying to do social media content. And I can say this because I'm one of those people. I'm older and I'm trying to keep up with the younger people online. So despite that as being a universal image that younger people think of us, it works in reverse as well. When you are being, like you say, taking something to a level that it doesn't deserve, it's cringy to us. So there you go. We got a nice little mirror reflection there. There's a little bit of opposites going on here.
Yeah, 100%.
That's kind of fun. There's some song content for you in the future. You can talk to one of us older folks and go back and forth on the same topic and see how you can reflect them off each other.
Well, I have a song called YOLO, so for all the millennials and boomers, try not to cringe challenge for you.
Yeah, amazing. So online content, since we're talking about that too, and being the demographic that you fall into, like I am aware of your presence on, like you're online, but do you use TikTok a lot? Where would you send people if they wanted to follow you and your development going forward?
I feel like, well, I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube under the same handle. It's Evan Cooper 731. I feel like if I was going to say, like, if there was one of those that I'd want someone to follow me on, it's definitely TikTok, because I feel like I'm trying to grow a really big TikTok platform. But I also, my second would be in between Facebook and Instagram, because I feel like for, like, getting performances and gig reasons, Facebook's the best, because no one really, like, I've had a lot of people come, like, kind of, like, we've communicated through Facebook, but no one DMs me on TikTok for like live performances. But we always get messages on Facebook. So it's in between TikTok and Facebook for me for like what I'd want more following on. But I feel like TikTok's number one.
Yeah, I think that probably reflects most people that are keeping track of what type of reach they're getting. They're probably all saying that in their region right now. But I do find it interesting. When I started podcasting, I tried using some TikTok stuff and I got away from it. But I did notice that in the amount of time that I've gotten away from it, because I'm doing media and East Coast music, East Coast musicians find me on there a lot and add me, and it has grown as far as the percentage of East Coast musicians that are on there. It has grown a lot over the last like 24 months. So it's good timing for you to be in there for sure. And I do know that I reached out to another New Brunswick artist that I am aware of because of TikTok. So obviously it's working. It's pushing it to the right people. So I wish you success with that as well. And for anyone that's watching this episode, you can go out there and follow Evan online for everything. So I'm curious, your song that's out now, what motivate you to release that specific song as a single where you do have a little bit of a back catalog to pull from?
Well, the song is "Don't Come Crying Back to Me." I don't know if you said that already, but "Don't Come Crying Back to Me" I feel like it's such a good song to release first because it's not a very long song. I think it's like 2 minutes and 18 seconds maybe. And I know that in today's society, we don't really have long attention spans.
Sure.
So I thought it was a good idea to release a shorter song first. It's also upbeat. It's catchy, I think, anyways. Every time I pass people at school, they're like, "Don't come crying back to me." So clearly it's memorable. So I feel like it was the right choice. What propelled me to do that one first before it was even produced? Well, the other option, like I thought it might have been one of the best songs on my record, but back when I started the production of it, I thought I finished the record, and then as I wrote new songs, I was like, "Oh, this is replacing this because it's better." So probably my first choice. It was just too late because we were already almost done the production of the song before I wrote the one that I would choose it. The other one's called "Out of Love," so that one is most likely going to be the next one.
In time for Valentine's Day. So you love themes. I'm liking it.
Actually, yeah, I think that is kind of my goal, is like early February, late January, maybe. So that is the next one. The next single is probably going to be "Out of Love," and then another single maybe, and then hopefully have my album out sometime soon. Not very soon, but.
So let's talk about the album a little bit. It's too early to talk about it in full, obviously, because it's a work in progress. But who are you working on the album with, like as far as recording, mixing, producing type deal?
So "Don't Come Crying Back to Me." So at Grimross Bar is where I started doing open mics.
Okay.
Because Lee Howe told me about it because I met him when I did an open mic at the Muse.
Okay.
So he told me about, well, you should go to Grimross on Tuesdays. Just because there's an open mic there. So I was like, okay, we'll go. So we went, and then I met the sound guy there. He also works at the bar. His name's Seb Renault. And he said, well, I produce and stuff, so I'd be happy to help you with your song and stuff. So he did "Don't Come Crying Back to Me" with me. He mixed and mastered it and stuff too. So he helped me with that. We're working on another song with him right now.
Cool.
And then "Out of Love" we started because I want to have more than one song going at the same time with different producers to kind of, for my first record anyways, I want to kind of work with a lot of people, see who I like do well with. Like me and Seb worked really well together, I found. So Seb's definitely someone I want to keep close.
For sure.
As a producer. And then for "Out of Love" I'm working with Colin Fowley right now. And he's incredible. Like, I was really impressed by him because I found out who he was through Ella Campbell's song "Roller Coaster," and I just love the production of that song. So I was really curious to work what Colin could do with "Out of Love." So that's why I wanted to work with him on that song.
So just listening to you talk too, where you've obviously ingrained yourself in your local scene, you're starting to explore what else is out there. Just to end this conversation too, I'm curious for anyone else that's out there that might be similar to yourself, where they're a young musician just starting out. One thing that I did pick up as you're going through, where you were performing open mic at Grimross, Do you have any advice to a young musician that's starting out? Because I know that a lot of people your age, younger, and maybe even inclusive of any teenage musician, the idea of performing some places, you're like, well, I can't because there's alcohol involved, or I'm not 19. So did you have to do something special there? Did mom and dad have to do something for you? Pull some strings, sign a paper?
So I do have like some advice for like people my age who would want to start this. First of all, I'll answer your question about the alcohol in bars and stuff. I think some places are stricter than others. Like I've heard like some places, like me, like as a kid, I'm not allowed to touch any of their like glasses or any of their things. Like obviously you can't like take a drink to my mom at the table.
Yeah.
But my parents, one adult has to be there with me as like my supervisor.
Yep.
That's like a non-negotiable. Some bars aren't as strict like with like the glass, like you can't touch a glass or whatever. I mean, obviously can't like carry alcohol at all, like, or touch the alcohol, but some bars are different. Grimross, my mom or dad just had to be with me. It was really good for that. And they're all nice people. There's not like all like the community of Grimross. I mean, not all bars are like that. Like some bars there might be jerks. Like I don't know.
Well, I mentioned I have a daughter your age, so she does come to shows with me, and sometimes she's sitting behind the camera with me here as well. So I have some experience on attending shows in those situations as well, and I do know that it's not a deal breaker. It's just you have to find out what that specific environment's like. Are people going to feel comfortable and safe in that situation? Both patrons that are not minors and the minor that's involved. But I was curious for that. So outside of that, it sounds like you also do have maybe some tips for other young musicians. So,
I do, So this is not what people want to hear, because as a young artist, when I'm looking for advice, I hate when people say this, but it's just the truth. It's all about being at the right place at the right time. It's luck who you meet. Like, I don't know what made me and my mom say, hey, let's go to the Tipsy Muse for an open mic this Sunday afternoon, because it was my first ever open mic. Like, I don't know what made my mom and me decide to just do an open mic, but if I didn't go to that open mic on that day, I wouldn't have met Lee Howe, and Lee Howe wouldn't have told me about Grimross. And if I didn't know about Grimross, I would have never found Seb, who helped produce my song, and I wouldn't be where I am today. So it's really just a chain reaction of people that you meet, the right place at the right time. It's all luck. There's been like so many amazing people that I've met through Grimross. So it's just you have to meet the right people. So don't be afraid to go out there and do an open mic, or email that person. Like, send so many emails, because don't think, oh, they're busy, they're never going to get back to me. The amount of like people who seem to be super, super, super busy and important will get back to you because they care and they want to give back. So it's like, just send them the email.
Absolutely. And from the other side, receiving the emails, if you don't want to read it, you just don't open it. So it's not like they're going to write you back and say, stop sending me emails.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, like, you're absolutely safe.
My motto is sorry, my brain's like, my motto is like, it can't hurt to try, or like what I have a better way of saying it. I don't know why I can't say it right now. Like, it can't hurt to try. So like, sending an email, like, it's not going to do anything negative to go and ask someone for like an interview, or go ask someone if they'll play your song on radio. Like, the worst they could do is say no. So, and you're going to deal with rejection. Like, it's not something you can avoid. So, you know what? Just ask everybody, and you'll probably get 10 no's, but you might get that one yes that's really important. Like, I could ask to play at 10 festivals, but the one that says yes could be Somo or Harvest or Cavendish, for example. So it's like that's for me, that's the advice I'd give. Don't be afraid to ask.
Amazing. That's very wise for somebody very early in their career too. So thank you for that. And for anyone out there listening to that advice, make sure that you're following them out there. You should have already paused the episode and went out and hit follow. But if you haven't, you can do that now. And then when you come back here, hit subscribe on East Coast DNA if you haven't already. And for anyone that is still with us, would you like to play out with your current single, give them a little taste of your music?
Like sing it?
Well, we'll just play it off here from your recording.
Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you very much. And we'll definitely have to have a follow-up chat in the future.
100%. So nice meeting you.
Great. Thank you. And we'll talk again soon.
I know you think your love is gonna last, but you keep forgetting about our past. Oh yeah, you make out his story, but it's nothing compared to you and me. So when he left you and you're lonely, don't come crying back to me. Yeah, I told you that it's not gonna work out, but you didn't listen. Look where you are now. Now he left you and he don't look sorry. Don't come crying back to me. Yeah, I told you all you're gonna do is fight. Now you're dragging me and staying up all night. Now your issues are somehow affecting me. So don't come crying back to me. I know you think that you will be just fine, but you are wasting your good old time. Oh yeah, you make out his story, but I know you'll be crying back to me. So when he left you and you're lonely, don't come crying back to me. Yeah, I told you that it's not gonna work out, but you didn't listen. Look where you are now. Now he left you and he don't look sorry. Don't come crying back to me. Yeah, I told you all you're gonna do is fight. Now you're dragging me and staying up all night. Now your issues are somehow affecting me. So don't come crying back to me. Oh no, don't come crying back to me.